Howdy fellas, Equinox Fox here with a full gameplay of Rek'sai, included commentary, and essentially build order and guide all wrapped into one fancy-dancy package that I've never actually tried before. These are the runes I use, and in a moment the masteries will be shown as well. There you go. Soda is just amazing. Honestly, it's really good, and it's really good in terms of tank, which is exactly what we're going to be building. We're going to be building Titanic Hydra, we're going to be building our core, which is our 2.5, of Titanic Hydra, Cinder Hulk, and Dead Man's Plate, Black Cleaver, a number of other items that are health and defensive, depending on what your real matchup is. For this match, I end up taking Randuin simply because of the attack speed slow passive, and I'm tired of people running away from me. Aatrox hasn't escaped from me, Diana's got away from me, Sivir's got away from me. If they all get too much movement speed, they're able to get farther away from me and unable for me to burst them. So I chose Randuins as my final core item to be able to fight this. It works well against Aatrox, who I dueled consistently during the game, and it works very well against Sivir and Diana. For my skills in the jungle, as well as my route, I start Krugs and with a full clear, ganking when possible, a Q start, machete, and 3 health potions. Talisman can work as well, but I find machete to simply be more beneficial. Q start for its AoE, as well as its low cooldown, followed by your W second. What's important to note, and you'll see me do it almost every time I clear a camp, is I continuously burrow and shoot burrowed Qs, not only for the slip of extra damage and to kite, but when burrowed and you have Fury built up, it eats that Fury and returns it as health. Now, unfortunately here, I end up making my first mistake, and I almost got away with it, but I believe that afterwards it wouldn't have really benefited me at all. I decided to try and fight Aatrox early with no follow-up from my bot lane, and I shouldn't have been expecting them to either. He is way stronger than me at the start, and he has a revive passive, which means that he's going to win duels. Fervor, just all around, is a much better offensive skill early than Strength of Aegis. Another thing that you should note and continuously look for is that your tunnels have one main primary purpose, is to get you around from your jungle, from camp to camp, faster and more efficiently, so you can clear faster and roam and gank harder and faster and stronger and, I don't know, that Daft Punk song, right? So you should not be using your tunnels to be getting out of base. You should be using your tunnels to strategically place your way around walls and have your way out at almost all times. This also goes the same for ganking. If you are able to walk up and knock up your opponent without having to blow your E first, your ability to tunnel or burrow towards your opponent, then you should do it. If you can knock them up after that, or if they flash before you actually get the chance to unburrow, then you can make your tunnel and catch up to your victim, your target, your annihilation opponent, compadre person. Get yourself a kill, and then actually start to make a presence and a pressure on everywhere. But make sure you watch the number of your tunnels. We get a good gank off on Diana and get our Yasuo a kill. We decide not to push with him simply because we're going to go back to farming, and we're going to let him do his thing. We're only level 5 right now, level 4 right now. There's no real reason for me to stay and push the lane at such an early level, especially when I don't think that we're going to have the coordination to pull off a dragon this early or anything else. So I dip back into the jungle and I start my way, and we have him a kill. The reason I did tunnel for that one is simply because Yasuo had ulted, and it's better for me to catch up before the Diana has a chance to even flash in the first place. Now, remember earlier how I told you about tunnel management and being able to get from camp to camp faster and more efficiently? This comes into play when you're getting invaded as well. Nobody really expects the Rek'sai to come through a tunnel when they're invading, or they should be getting rid of it as soon as possible, but that also gives away their location, which means that you can call for a gank. We run across Aatrox invading us, and we take him out quite easily, not really a big deal. I snipe him out with my Q, and we get Yasuo another kill. Even more fun, we also get a kill for myself on Diana. We have Tiamat, Boots, and Slow Smite at this point, which is fantastic. That means we can pretty much fight whatever we want. For the moment now, we're just going to dip back into the jungle, farm up, try and keep that gold of advantage, and start working towards Titanic Hydra. Taking a quick peek at mid lane, we see that Diana's pushed. She's only got 4 CS on the tower, so we decided to drop E, follow up, and catch her out of position. We also know that my knockup can be used with Yasuo's ultimate, and his is up. We end up not having to use our knockup for the ultimate, but what we can do instead is wait for Diana to land to immediately knock her back up and increase the CC time. She flashes away, we should note that, and then we get another kill and we can start to pressure other objectives. Now, Cho'Gath isn't necessarily out of position here, but my ability to burrow through the wall in an awkward angle makes it to where I can gank it. I trust in my Olaf right now, and I trust his damage to be able to pull this off. He may not have his ultimate, but we don't necessarily need it to kill Cho'Gath. We end up getting a pretty close shave in terms of this, and I end up having to blow my flash to be able to knock him up and secure the kill, but it's always worth it to be able to gank for our laners and get everything rolling on the ball, start snowballing everywhere we can. We pick up a secondary kill on Aatrox. Glad that I used my flash now, so that way I could burrow back into the wall for the knockup. End up pushing the tower, know that Cho'Gath's teleport is down, and that's when we really should now start to pressure bot lane and mid lane and start taking dragons, more towers, and everything else that we can to secure this game in our favor. This is a good time where your ultimate comes into play. I need to start getting down to bot lane and follow up on my Yasuo, really press down these objectives, and this is probably the best time to do it. This is also one of the reasons you keep tunnel management all over your jungle on your side. That way you are free to go top, mid, or bot without too much of an issue. We get down there and we see that Yasuo is actually fighting out the Diana. We're going to actually follow this guy up, and we're going to kill the Diana, and there's going to be a little skirmish between the Aatrox, but right when this is all done, we're going to start really pressuring that dragon and secure it. Air Dragon's just spawning, we've got a team fight going on, Wind Walls just blocked the stun, and it's time to go in. Aatrox makes the bad decision, though, of engaging on us instead of the other way around. Blows his flash, but my knockup still actually activates on him, and we end up getting the kill on him, and then look towards the other opponents. This is one of those high-risk, high-reward sort of situations that come into play. We've taken out the Aatrox, we've taken out the jungler, and we've taken out the support. Bard's ultimate is down, and we're still chasing this Sivir. Not only are we chasing about it, we're going to tower dive it. The minions are there, and it's time to 3-man minion bomb it. This was really risky, and we should have actually just turned around and gotten Dragon, but since it paid off, not only do we get the kills and secure those kills, we also get to do quite a bit of damage to the tower, as well as taking the Dragon. Now, although we have the cash to get just about anything we want, it's best for us to go back, do a full reverse clear, get our health up, get that extra cash, and build into a Titanic Hydra. With Titanic Hydra, we start to look towards top lane and towers. We've already got the first 2 mid towers, and now we can start to take the outer towers on the other edges, and get more global gold, pressure more, and just pretty much keep this game rolling in our favor, always looking towards that next objective, that next ability to gain something for us. Now, looking at the map, we know that we're probably safe to keep splitting. Even though Bard is here, there's 3 people mid, and our team is also really getting pushed at bot lane, which is good for us. That means we can keep pressure at top lane, and maybe even dive or kill the Bard, or once we get teleport and ganked here, and we see Cho'Gath's teleport go down, we can escape through tunnels, and then we can rejoin and regroup bot lane to take the tower. You guys enjoying those chill tunes? I know I was. Anyway, back to the actual game and nice gameplay commentary here of my absolutely sexy, sultry, honey-dripping voice. We actually get a kill off on Cho'Gath, and we know that we can let my team push. That means I, on the other hand, can ult down the bot and solo Dragon. They either have to deal with me, or they lose another tower. Losing an Ocean Dragon right now isn't as big of a deal as us getting a top tower. If we get top tower, that means we could probably rotate in Baron. Although we don't, simply because of the oppressive nature of their team and this, them being able to keep us down in team fights, they did give chase and they pushed away from a farther push. So I start to rotate bot and we get ourselves a Sterix Gauge. It's a good overall health item, and it really helps against the burst of what people are going to be smacking on me, as well as adding a bit more damage. I'm pretty far ahead right now. That means I can sacrifice a bit of tank to be able to burst down whoever I need to kill in a solo fight, and be that split pusher. Now, this was probably the second biggest mistake I made in this entire game. Instead of focusing the carry that's back there and trying to make Cho'Gath peel off of me, like peel me off of her, what I ended up doing was trying to fight the Cho'Gath with Sivir just smacking me in the background. It was a very bad move, and it led to my second death of the game. There was one benefit of that entire situation, though. It made me realize that I need more armor than I currently have. We pick up a Warden's Mail, and we start to build towards Randuin so we don't get pegged that hard, and maybe we can slow people down so they don't, annihilate us and rip us a new one, and, pop my pool toy over there. Now, I'm not exactly sure what anybody was thinking when nobody decided to send anybody after me, but while they all chase my team and trade a single kill for a single kill, I end up getting an inhibitor tower, which was definitely not worth it for them, but way worth it for me in terms of being able to split push. Yeah, Bard is here and he's being a little annoying, but we eventually run away from him, and we end up making another really big mistake here in a minute. We just left 2 people in bot lane below us, and the minions aren't pushed to the inhibitor. That means they can just rotate straight up. They don't have to go through their base. So what do? We unlock our camera and we mess up. We don't pay attention to where we are, and we don't have an out with any tunnels that are previously set. So we end up getting our 3rd death of the game. I've always been told that you learn from your mistakes and you thrive on failure. Although I will agree with that most of the time, diving the Sivir by yourself with your team being above you and dealing with a tank is a very bad idea. You are not the main damage dealer on your team as Rek'sai with this build. Yes, you can duel. That's okay. What you can't do is go towards the back line by yourself and attempt to snipe somebody. It does not end well, and it is a very bad situation in which I did this right now. Baron is the objective, and I essentially just threw it. Now, although I did throw Baron, and I totally deserve to lose this right here, our Lucian, however, has learned from his experiences. He ults it, not only does he kill the Aatrox, but he turns around and he ends up getting the Baron, denying it for 3 people on their team, and getting it only for himself, which is okay. He just denied a Baron solo simply because he gave it a shot. He could have even died trying to just stop it, and it still would have been worth it. He came out way on top, and I way more than commend his insight to just give it a shot. We've got Baron on our side on Lucian, the dice are set, all the lanes are pushing, and we have absolute dominance and control over this game. This is where we need to pick out that last, final team fight, get any picks we can, and end it. And that's exactly what we do, which at this point in the game is all that matters. 33 minutes into the game, that means you've got a 40-second timer. 40-second timer with the way that our team has been built and the amount of picks that we just got in that fight equals victory. Make sure to close out a game when you can close out a game. Don't just beat around the bush. We could have probably closed this game at 25 minutes, Maybe even 23 minutes if we had done it right and gone for Baron at the correct time. But this is where we needed to close it, and we ended the game. I hope this can give you more insight and more helpful information as to what I would assume would be the other way I was doing the guides, which was just really showing highlight reels. This was a little more difficult to make and took a little longer, but if it's more efficient and more informational for you guys, I'd like to know. Please tell me. Let me know in the comments below what you think, how I can improve or otherwise. I hope this guide helps, this game helps. You can always shoot me a tweet at @EQFox, and I stream pretty consistently with the link in the description. Have a great evening, y'all, and I hope to see you climb.